Hey students, Mr. Woodward here. Just going to give you a little lowdown on what you're going to be doing with this Unit 6 Boom, Bust, and Reform essay. We're now putting all these components together, 1920s, Great Depression, and what you just finished with the New Deal, into a simple little essay. Today you're going to work on this part here, the intro paragraph, what we call contextualization and thesis. So you're really just going to be drafting, messing around today, getting down, handwritten, some ideas on how you're going to introduce the 1920s. So we did a lot of stuff on the 1920s, so you'll need to get out any notes that you have that we went through on the video where we talked about these following sort of things. We also went through our little immersive activity through Pearson, in which we learned about automobiles, credit, consumerism, Harlem Renaissance, changing role of women, prohibition, immigration, sports and entertainment, movies, rise of the KKK, modernity versus fundamentalism. We went through all those things. So you have notes out there, you have stuff that you worked on through both HMH and Pearson and stuff from class. So you'll need that for this part. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to describe, using historical examples, the 1920s decade, considering both the positive and negative aspects of the 1920s. So you're sort of setting the picture, the trailer to the movie, so to speak. So you're going to write about 5 sentences that include some of these ideas that talk about the 1920s being a good era, but also at the same time there were some negative aspects going on. So you're sort of introducing the idea of the 1920s and what was going on. At the end of that paragraph, you're going to introduce a claim, much like the claims we do in CNN, prompts that can be argued. You're going to create your own prompt. So you must have a thesis statement, must be 1 to 2 sentences that introduces the next part or leads from the 1920s into the causes of the Great Depression. So you have to, in your thesis, after you talk about the 1920s, allude to, in your statement, what is going to cause the Great Depression. So in that final sentence of that first paragraph, using 1 to 2 of these causes, you're going to make a claim about why you think those 1 to 2 causes created the Great Depression, sort of relating that also to 1920s paragraph. So 5 to 10 sentences in that first paragraph, depending on your level of depth, you're going to do those things. So you're going to kind of start drafting that piece out today with the time that you have left. Now, there's simple meets that you can achieve through this by using one example of a positive or negative aspect of the 1920s. So you can be really simple and just kind of bare bones and get the meets. But the more of these that you describe accurately about the 1920s, the better you're going to score here, from meets to mastery. So I challenge you to go into some depth on some of these things, more than just one. And then your thesis, if your thesis only includes one of these causes, like you're only stating, that I believe overproduction of American products was the only cause of the Great Depression, or was the biggest cause of the Great Depression, because overproduction led to a decline in prices, which caused factories to have to shut down and people to be laid off, which led to unemployment. If that's your statement, then that's sort of limited to the meets category as well, because you're only using one cause. Multiple causes will get you up into advance if you use multiple causes in your thesis, and mastery, 2 causes explained with some historical background behind those causes. So really work just on crafting that introductory to the 1920s, what was good, what was bad, positive, negative going on in the 1920s, and then what is your statement about what's going to cause the Great Depression at the end of the 1920s. So don't worry about making that perfect. We're just kind of drafting this first part first. If you're working ahead, you'll notice that body paragraph 1 is going to be about the in-depth information of the causes that you're going to describe. And again, you'll notice even for mastery, the most of these 6 causes that you have to deal with are 2 to get mastery. So it's not like we're asking you to describe in this essay all of the causes of the Great Depression. We're simply asking you to deal with a couple of them. Okay? So if you feel like working ahead or drafting ahead, that's fine. When I come back, we'll describe more about that second paragraph, but I want to see everybody as sort of a formative assessment get a start on this intro paragraph piece. Okay? All right, have a good day, and we'll see you soon.